everybody, this morning I am in Plainfield, Indiana. Beautiful, cool morning. And we're gonna talk in this video just about the #1 reason why people don't live, or when they're moving to the Indy Metro, why they don't choose Plainfield as a place to live. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in a place like Plainfield, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, of course, and whether any of those might be a fit for you or any of the cities and towns that surround Indianapolis, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. Now we have people reaching out to us from all over the country with questions about places like Plainfield, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, of course, but any of the cities and towns that surround Indianapolis. If you have questions at all regarding any of those places, then make sure you reach out to us. Don't hesitate, any way that you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions, and we'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move to the Indy Metro. All right, guys, again, I'm in Plainfield, Indiana, and I'm actually on the Vandalia Trail here, crossing White Lick Creek. This is not just a tiny little creek. I mean, this is beautiful, crossing this little footbridge. Just left Franklin Park, which is back this way. You can see some people coming up here behind me and looking out here to the south. Really, really beautiful. I am such a fan of Plainfield for a number of reasons. I mean, I've got a family, so kids. If I were to live in Plainfield, which I don't, and I would say unfortunately I don't, we don't, just because of the location more than anything. Got some cyclists. I want to make sure I'm looking out for them. How you doing this morning? Some people on the trail here this morning. So I don't live here for the #1 reason that a lot of people don't live here, but there's a lot of good things about it. There would be, of course, like I said, with family, the schools are a big concern. Super highly rated schools here. This trail system in Plainfield is ridiculous. So White Lick Creek, it's an area that you can't really develop. You can't put housing on it. You can't put neighborhoods on it. You can't put anything commercial on it, because anytime you get close to a creek or a river or moving by the water, of course, it's going to rise and fall, and there are flooding concerns. And actually, what I'm walking on right here right now is floodway or floodplain, so you can't put any houses or anything, like I said, commercial on it. So what Plainfield has done is they've made this linear park system all along White Lick Creek. From the north to the south, you have parks, and then they've made a trail system that connects all of the parks. So this is just an unbelievable trail, and there are several more as you go, well, north-south, but also as you go east-west. Good morning. As we can see people walking here on this trail this morning. Super, super nice. Good morning. So if you lived further to the east, you could catch a trail. Now they're not all as nice as this one. Some of them they look more like sidewalks, but at least it's off the road. It is a trail, and it can connect to a place like this. Now I could take this trail all the way up to Splash Island, which is a big, huge outdoor water park in Plainfield that a lot of people around Indianapolis will actually come to Plainfield for. That is just up this trail. But with all of these things about Plainfield, and it's only about 35,000 people, so it's not overly big, it's not terribly small either. You've got shops at Perry Crossing, so it has a major shopping area. All the commercial stuff that you could ever want and imagine. It's also in Plainfield. It's right next to the International Airport, super close. If you travel a lot, get there, and it's super easy to get to. So easy. Indianapolis Airport is honestly one of the better airports in North America, just because it's so easy to get into and out of. Security is really pretty easy there. It's just not a major busy airport, even though it's busy and it has a lot of direct flights to different places. So super positive to be close to that. In its location in Indianapolis, of course, really close. You could get to downtown, 30 minutes, no problem from here. But the #1 reason that people aren't gonna live in Plainfield, and the #1 reason that I don't live in Plainfield with my family, is just because of where it is. And it's also the reason I don't live in Los Angeles, California, or Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Fort Myers, Florida. And there's some places in the country that, man, I would really love to try living in. And there's some places around Indianapolis that I have lived, but there are more places that I haven't lived. And it's not because I don't like them or there are negative things about them. It's just that they're not located in the right spot. So to get to Plainfield, as an example, from my house, Indy Metro is bigger than what a lot of people think. So there's roughly 2 million people or so in the whole metro. But from where I live, way east, it can take a good solid 45, 50 minutes to get to this park. And if the traffic is a little heavy, it could be pushing an hour. So if we wanted to go to Splash Island, let's say, as a family, well, we got to plan on close to an hour drive. That's just mostly mileage driving from one side to the other. The extreme one side of the east to the extreme west side. And that's a deterrent, of course. So a deterrent for living there. Otherwise, I would say, are you kidding me? Plainfield, it's awesome. I love it. I can't find that many negatives about Plainfield. And it's just like a lot of places around Indianapolis. I can't find that many negatives about many of the cities and towns. Now, there are cities and towns around Indianapolis that are much more well-known, like Carmel, of course. People across the country, a lot of people know about Carmel. And when they're moving to the Indy Metro, sometimes they're trying to make a place like Carmel fit them, even though they work downtown, or they work on the south side, or they work near the airport. And they're really thinking, I know it's not close. It's a 30-minute, 40-minute, 50-minute drive sometimes, and if traffic is bad, it can be pretty aggravating. Now, our traffic here is a whole other story. It's not all that bad when you compare it to traffic across the country. It can get heavy here, but usually it's typically still moving, and it only delays you a handful of minutes. Realistically, in your mind, it might feel like it's longer, and you're going out of your mind when it's jammed, but if you're timing it, really not much longer than if there wasn't any traffic at all. So they're trying to make a place like Carmel or Westfield or Fishers fit, and it's just probably not gonna work for your day-to-day. At least I can't. I can't do that kind of commute. I can't commute 45, 50 minutes every single day one way. And I know there are people in the country that have certainly done that, and they've done that for years in other cities where they've commuted an hour or hour and a half or sometimes longer than that one way. That just seems like a tough existence to me, and I know it can't be something that people can do forever, for years and years and years. It has to wear on a person. So here, you can still get longer commutes, but you don't have to. There are places like Plainfield that really could fit you as far as the location goes. And once you start digging into a place like this, I feel like it's a gem around Indianapolis. It is absolutely a hidden, sparkling gem. It has so much to offer for just about anybody, especially a family. Such a great place to consider. And it's not the only one. You have Brownsburg to the northwest. You've got, of course, Avon just north of here. Plenty of great places in Avon to live, and you're so close to everything. Greenwood to the south is overlooked a ton. And then when you get out to the east, Hancock County, where Greenfield, Indiana is absolutely overlooked. That whole county is overlooked. There's less than 100,000 people in that entire county to the east of Indianapolis. So do you think there's gonna be some growth and increase in popularity out there? Without a doubt, especially if the location fits you. So the number one reason I don't live in Plainfield, anybody else that lives around the Indy Metro for the most part, and a lot of people moving here, would be just where it's located. Simple as that. But keep in mind there are so many other places other than the popular ones around Indianapolis that you might consider living, and they might be in a better location for you. So if you have questions about any of those places, just because you're not familiar with them, reach out any way that you know how, and we'll catch you in the next one.